Hi everyone, we're back with another Eagle Eye Productions video. It's the fourth video in a row of classic cars that have collector status. And today we're going to do the continuation. We did the 190, the Cosworth, the Evo version, and you saw the ridiculous prices on that. The 190 together with the E-Class W124 edition, so the car that basically ran from 85 until 95, they are both considered maybe the best Mercedes, relatively modern Mercedes that Mercedes built. And we also had the W123, which was also maybe that's the best Mercedes ever built, and I will show you real quick just for your idea what that is. W123. This is the best car that Mercedes ever built. They still drive around as taxis in the Middle East, and they're basically unbreakable. They can rack up millions and millions of kilometers. But this is quite an old Benz. Of course, the 119, the W214, 2124, yeah, that one. They're also old. I mean, they just are. They are old cars. But when it really comes to Mercedes-Benz, the brand Mercedes-Benz, then it's considered one of the best that Mercedes ever built. And Mercedes in the 90s had, from this E-Class, had a very special car, and that's the E500. For all people out there that are familiar with it, I don't need to say it. For those that are not familiar with it, this E-Class, the E500, was a special car. It was built in cooperation with Porsche. Porsche back in the days, was not going so well coming out of the 80s. They didn't know exactly what direction they should take. Sales were not that good in the late 80s and early 90s. There was also financial recession time, basically, and they needed some extra cash. So this car, just like the RS4 from Audi, was produced in collaboration with Porsche. Without further ado, this car, 95, almost 250,000 kilometers on it, and goes on sale for 120,000 euros, more even. And these are, prices based on collector's value. It's a limited edition, and definitely this was even before AMG, I believe. I mean, it does look like, because here in Europe and in the Netherlands, in Germany, these cars were with a E200D. Those were the taxis, basically, and this was just a fast taxi. So a lot of people didn't really understood it, but the driver, they understood it. They understood what was going on. This one had the legendary 5-liter V8 that you could also find in the R129, which was the SL for the time. Many movie stars back then drove an SL, and this basically had the SL engine, but then in an executive car. So I don't know what this says. I don't think it says AMG, because I don't think it's an AMG engine. It was just one of the biggest engines they had at the moment, and a V12 was too much. No, it doesn't say AMG. But look, when you stand in front of it, I mean, it's just they're very subtle design cues that let you see that this is the top of the line car. Looks really clean. These cars, they are old. A lot of them have rust issues around the wheel arches. Is one of the places, but this one looks in absolute mint condition. That's why the price is also that high. It has special design interior. I don't know the name. Maybe we can see it later, but it has design co or something. Something like that. They had a sunroof, which was also an option. This was basically a fully loaded car with the most heavy engine they could fit in it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is when you drove this in 95, then you were the man. And everybody think you were just driving a boring Mercedes-Benz, because Mercedes-Benz, up until that point, they were always a bit sluggish, a little bit slow. They were respected because of the durability, but they're not really cars that, not really a driver's car like BMW, for instance, but workhorses, more to speak. I believe there's a cab from this generation in the Stuttgart museum that racked up like a couple of million kilometers, and it was a diesel, of course. Let's see if we get more information on this car, because I do want to know some specifics. Yes, specifications. Yes, it's a 4-speed automatic. That's how old it was, and it was probably the 5-speed was probably already there, but maybe couldn't handle the torque. We'll go to some more figures. It's a original Dutch car. But here said the last time, or until the APK, which is the annual kind of service maintenance that you have to do in order to keep the car road legal, was done in April of 2011. So it wasn't, in all those years, it probably been standing still. And now somebody's trying to sell it and I'll make a buck. Maybe sell it in order to buy a house, because housing prices are very expensive here. But we drift away from this topic. Here, a 5-liter V8 producing only 320 horsepower. But remember, back in the day, this was a huge number. 0 to 60 miles an hour or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. It was done in 6.1 seconds, which was blistering fast for the moment, for the time period. And 250 was, it was just regulated electronically that it couldn't go faster than that. Also back then in Germany, they already had these kind of rules. The gentleman's agreement, so to speak, was kind of on the heavy side, but that is also because they used good materials. It's a well-built, well-put-together car. And it looks amazing. I mean, it will still gives you a smile, because it's probably you're driving quite comfortable car. There's not a whole lot of feeling to it. You can just drive it slowly for hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. But when you put your foot down and floor it, then it's just a transition like this. This is the most expensive one here in the Netherlands. Let's move on. 2019. This is also E500, apparently 2 years older, 93. Also, of course, with the V8 engine. Also looks nice. This looks a little bit more normal. Probably doesn't have all this. And you see this car, this E-Class is way cheaper than the 190. But the 190 was also limited edition. I don't know the numbers that they produced, but not even 10,000, I suppose. And I think the Evo variants of the 190 maybe 500 pieces. And that also does something for the price. It's more rare, so it's more expensive. This one also looks in absolute mint condition. Driver's seat looks okay. Yeah. This probably also has the 4-speed. We'll check later on. Yeah. Close to 300,000 kilometers driven. I mean, these engines can handle that, but it's an old car, 93. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You see, you have some rust bubbles here. They are honest about that. Something that needs to be taken care of, definitely. Oh, more rust here. I mean, these cars rust. They're also old, so logically, but yeah. So same power output, of course, and it's automatic. Doesn't say how many speed, but it's also a 4-speed. And this is considerably cheaper. Yeah, you see it needs some work done, but overall it looks also in great condition. Aftermarket stereo in it. These cars are icons from the 90s. There's no doubt about this. And this W124 generation is definitely respected all over the world. Also, so many videos from the US where they They just really drool over the build quality, so to speak, and it was just made by engineers. They just wanted to make a statement, to make one of the best cars they could for the time, based on their knowledge and on their experience. Money no object. I mean, this 500e was way more expensive than, let's say, a 320, like way more. But it also, the production process between the Porsche facilities and Mercedes, that also all take that into consideration, and it was hand built, some parts. So all added into consideration why the price of a 500e is way more expensive than just an ordinary E-Class. So this one way cheaper. Here you have a 3 liter, still 30k, but they say it didn't even drive 30,000 kilometers, which is, yeah, in my book, yeah, I don't know what that means. Like, it's from 86 and 30,000 kilometers, not even. I don't know if that's a good thing. Here you have a E250 diesel, which is also quite expensive. Also 95, which was the last year that they built these cars. 96 saw the W210 came to the market, the one with the 4 headlights. But this car ran for 10 years. This is the diesel variant. I mean, those diesels, they are made for racking up the miles. But you know, when it comes to modern standards, like, these diesels are very slow. You had also a diesel and a turbo diesel, and that one was already a little bit better, but still, these engines were raw, but they were built for eating miles on a daily basis. Yes, nice interior, something different, typical Mercedes of the era. Look how clean it is. This is definitely a car, probably from Germany, that somebody kept well over the years. You see some rust on the exhaust here. But other than that, look at the interior. Look at how clean and how nice it looks. But this guy, which is he's from Friesland, which is the most northern province of the Netherlands, and he's known for having these kind of cars on display. I don't know where he gets them from, probably Germany, but you don't see those in these type of conditions anymore. Not that often, not at all, not in Europe, and definitely not in the Eastern Europe neither. So this is really a time capsule, so to speak. Look at this. It's a 5-cylinder diesel from Mercedes-Benz, a 2.5 liter 5-cylinder diesel, 113 horsepower. Well, this is not going to make you very happy. It's definitely not fast, but it is reliable. So yeah, it's really up to you. If you still, it's also not really cheap. I mean, for 20k you can buy a whole lot of other cars, but it just depends. You know, you're gonna save a diesel. Yeah, it still need to wait quite a long time when these cars are road tax free. The car needs to be 40 years old. Then we don't need to pay road tax anymore. Before that time, we need to pay twice the road tax. So when you have a petrol car, that's a standard. When you have the same car, but then with a diesel, you need to pay twice the road tax. So the cost, the monthly cost, can be expensive. This car is also not super light, but it's also not super. Yeah, it really depends. You need to test drive it and see if you can live with it, because you're really stepping back into the 80s basically. But for some people, it's a special feeling. It's a car you don't see that often anymore. But in this condition, driving it daily, I don't know. It really depends. Let's move on. I want another 500e if they have one. This one has the 4.2 liter, so I don't. Oh, this is the E420. So this is basically the biggest engine you could buy without buying the 500e. Think I say that right. 15k. Car looks nice. I don't really find it very special in gray, or silver, but it is really a Mercedes Benz color. Yeah. all the cabs in the 90s until the late 90s were this in the Netherlands, and they were very popular with people that needed to drive a lot on a daily basis, also executives and everything. Special edition. This one must have a V8 as well. There's no other way around it. Car looks in great condition. Already racked up 320,000 kilometers, but it looks absolutely mint. I think they must have changed the steering wheel or maybe even changed some parts on the seats. Who knows? But it looks great. I think this is a Becker stereo or original Mercedes-Benz. Probably a 4-speed also. And when you slam the doors on a car like this, you can just hear the quality, and people still go nuts over them. So okay, the 500e had 320 horsepower, and this is 280. So there's a difference of 40 horsepower, which again back in the day was a lot. But this is also the 8-cylinder. These cars, they had 4 cylinders, mostly 6 in lines. When you go for E320, then you had a 3.2 liter, I suppose. Yeah, you did, because a 3.2 6 in line. Did you have them? Maybe even E400s you had. I'm not really sure, but maybe with the next generation. But again, 4 cylinders, 6 in lines, V8 for sale, plenty of choices. Let's do one more video of one more car, the Combi, also 91. See if we can still get a 500e out there. No, 300,000 here. They go for 3K. It's not even that expensive if you don't drive that much. But again, it's an old car. We can go for this, see what you can have for this amount of money. I mean, this is really super basic, but I remember Fifth Gear destroying one, and they showed you the build quality of those. I mean, the basic ones, the E200s and the E250s, they were just built to last, and they were great engineered cars. Again, not really focused at the driver, but just getting the job done. Basic workhorses. You could drive many kilometers through the week. You see this needs some touching up. 300,000. Yeah. Let me see again what kind of engine is in here. Yeah, some things need to be changed, but it's not even 300,000. Let's see. So not even 3,000. Let's see what more options. So it is from February 92, model year 86. So this was before the facelift. Indeed, I think 93 it received the facelift, end of life facelift, and 95 they were taken out of production. Oh, what's this? Okay, 118 horsepower from a 2-liter 4-cylinder, a 5-speed. Rear-wheel drive, of course, and it's the 200 TE, and T is the T model, and that's basically the Combi, or you would say station wagon. Yeah. So that's it. The most expensive one is this one. Usually there are only 2 or 3 for sale at any given moment, but these cars are getting rare by the day. So yeah, that's my video about the 500D. Thanks for watching, and we see you guys in the next one.